Good evening and happy early Thanksgiving. Today we are going to be talking about an issue that is very near and dear to me. My name is William Creed. I am currently acting sous chef at Roberto's River Road Restaurant where I've been for the past 8 years. I've got a decade plus in the kitchen management, service industry, restaurant business. But today, coming from a professional chef, I want to discuss the importance of buying, eating, and enjoying local seafood. Now, this may not seem to be a important issue. But here in Louisiana, where my restaurant is, where we reap the benefits of one of the most plentiful natural resources available for human consumption. Now, the reason that we all, especially living in Louisiana, should be buying domestic seafood is the decision that you, the consumer, make impacts such a wide variety of individuals. It impacts the economy of the state of Louisiana on a multitude of levels. And not only does your money stay in Louisiana and it helps Louisiana, but by making this decision, and it is a very important one to eat domestic seafood, you are taking your own health into consideration. So, who likes to eat? Everybody likes to eat. Who likes to eat well? I know I do. There is a massive difference in foreign versus domestic seafood products. I mean, take it from me. I'm a long time purchasing agent. I deal with all kinds of different vendors, fishmongers, shrimpers, you name it, we got it. Crawfish farmers. But really, as far as the health concern is involved, let's say average BRCC student, I want to get some fish, go to Walmart, go to Albertsons, Mathern's, Calandras, whatever, any local grocery store. Unfortunately, you go to that frozen food section, you get some fresh frozen fish, right? So 9 out of 10 frozen fish in a Walmart grocery store, you name it, it is in all likelihood 9 out of 10 times that's a Chinese product that you are buying. And this is especially true with fish like tilapia. Take tilapia for example. The FDA discovered in Chinese tilapia a a massive amount of potentially harmful toxins. Now, what the Chinese are injecting into their seafood are toxins, are biocides that the FDA ruled illegal all the way back in 1983. You're also trusting what you put in your mouth, what you consume, to a labor force in the Far East that, according to the New York Times, is making roughly 15 cents an hour. I mean, let's face it, like I've been in the service industry a long time. None of us make very good money unless you're Emerald Lagasse or something. But I'm not trusting anybody making 15 cents an hour to do something as important as prepare food for me. Now, a second major issue uh, with buying foreign seafood is its taste. The reason that domestic seafood is so good, the reason that Louisiana seafood is so good is because of the water. The water in the Gulf of Mexico is a marine biologist and a chef's dream because of the high quality protein that comes out of that body of water. Now, if you are consuming American Gulf of Mexico sourced seafood, 71% of that is going to pass through Louisiana in one capacity or another. That is according to the Louisiana Seafood website. They've got great information there. And now we've discussed very briefly, what makes Louisiana seafood special with the water, with the variety, just how amazing the protein that's coming out of the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, we got some of the longest coastline in the entire United States. So we have a vast natural resource that there's no reason you and nor I should not be taking advantage of. So let's move on from what makes Louisiana seafood special to who makes it special. Now, you are going to come a little bit later down the chain, but the first person, and especially in Louisiana, we're talking about the local fishermen. This is by and large New York Times, Times-Picayune, the Baton Rouge Advocate. The majority of your commercial fishermen in Louisiana, it's a family business. The same is true for your seafood vendors. And for me, the third tier of a decision, you don't realize affects as many people as it does, because we've already dealt with our local fishermen, our vendors. You got people like me, commercial buyers. And the fourth is you. Once again, you. And to not be eating Louisiana domestic seafood, you're putting yourself at risk, because in the United States we got the FDA, we got Louisiana Wildlife and Fisheries, you've got state and local health inspectors, food boards. There's a magnitude, just a massive amount of testing, inspection, and labeling that goes on with American, especially Louisiana, seafood. Now, a common tactic of foreign distributors is to mislabel their products. They're going to say things like wild shrimp or Gulf fish. Now, if you don't see Gulf of Mexico, that could very easily and in all likelihood mean Gulf of Tonkin, which is in Vietnam. So you are not able to enjoy and safely consume that seafood, because you don't know what kind of rigorous testing has gone down. Like, who is in charge? You got somebody making 15 cents an hour that's in charge of inspecting, licensing, verifying, testing all of this seafood. Like, no. And really, this did not become a huge issue until about 1991. 1992, if you ask some of the farmers outside of Lafayette, but the Chinese crawfish invasion is more often than not attributed to about 1991. And the Chinese flooded the American market with much drastically cheaper product. Now, the money that you're gonna save in the short run, that you save, the 10, 20, for me even in the $1,000 dollars when I'm buying hundreds of pounds at a time, it's not worth it because that Chinese product is vastly inferior to what we've got right here. Why would you not spend just a couple extra dollars to help support all of the people we've previously discussed? Now, the Chinese made it very popular to do with crawfish in the 90s. More recently, we've seen Vietnamese shrimp, and we've also seen Indonesian soft-shell crabs. Now, by flooding the American market with the cheaper product, you're literally taking food out of the mouths of your local fishermen, the state economy, and once again, that money that you're saving up front, is it really worth you risking? Is it really worth you risking your health, potentially negatively impacting the state's economy, and at the end of the day, disappointing your friends, your family, whoever you're cooking for? And for me, I'm not losing my job because of cheap, imported, potentially dangerous foreign seafood. Not when we've got all of this right here. There's no reason whatsoever for a restaurant to be operating in Louisiana and not be relying solely on Louisiana domestic, certified, verified, inspected domestic seafood. So do me a favor, do the state a favor, and do yourself a favor. Check the label. Make sure it says Louisiana seafood, because in the end, it's all about how it tastes. And if you want it to be the best, once again, we're right here. No reason to not go right there and get the best, because that's where it is. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. And most of all, thank you for buying Louisiana seafood.